Hi, I'm Alexis.
And I'm Colleen.
And we're Millennials.
And since we've already ruined shopping malls,
paper napkins,
and chain restaurants,
and just about everything else,
we figured we'd probably ruin quilting too.
But we're not really ruining quilting, are we, Colleen?
We're not. We're just trying to ruin the idea of what quilting is and who quilters are.
Because quilts can be anything you want them to be. They can be art, they can be modern and fun, they can even tell a story.
Our story as Millennial Quilters is just getting started, and we really like to share it with you.
Aww, I'll drink to that.
Cheers.
Cheers. So, Colleen, how did you get started quilting?
My mom got me into quilting. I had been going to quilt shows with her for a few years, especially the Pacific International Quilt Festival in Santa Clara. And I always loved going because I loved seeing the finished quilts.
They're beautiful.
It's amazing what people can do. Some of them look just like pictures or portraits. And it was always very inspiring. And I'm not going to lie, I really enjoy shopping.
Yeah.
And quilt shows have a ton of fun stuff to buy, even if you aren't a quilter.
Yes.
So I would go, and at some point, my fiance's friends started having children, and I thought, wouldn't it be nice if I could give them a gift of a baby quilt, something that I made for them?
Yeah.
And my mom was all for the idea. She thought it was a good idea, so she helped me pick out a kit at the quilt show, and then I would go to her house. I did have a sewing machine at my apartment, but it was easier to do with my mom there to kind of guide me and talk to me about the importance of 1/4 inch seam, putting your pieces together, keeping it straight. And then it was so much fun. I made the quilt, I quilted it, and just on the sewing machine, and we gave it to them, and they loved it.
Yeah.
And then the next group of friends was ready to have their first child, and so I was like, I'll make another quilt, and it just kind of snowballed. And then a few years ago, after I left the airline, my mom said that our local quilt store, In Between Stitches, was looking for some help. And she asked if she could give Melissa and Leslie, the owners, my name. And I was like, wasn't sure I wanted to work in a quilt store, but I said, yeah, it's 1 day a week. I can totally do that. And then I started working there, and I fell in love even more. I just started buying more and more fabric, started making more things, discovered a love for bag making as well as quilting.
Yeah.
And it's been great. And my mom and I still get together and sew and quilt. We still work on projects together, but now I'm teaching classes, taking classes, and I just love it. I love learning all the different techniques.
And all the different people you meet.
And oh my God, so many people.
It's a great community.
It is. Quilters are very nice people.
Yeah.
So that's how I got into it. It was just kind of a fun thing to do with my mom. But how about you? How did you get in?
Awesome. Mine has nothing related to do with quilting, actually. Some friends of mine were going to Burning Man, and they were making all these really cute, unique, cool outfits with their sewing machines. And I was like, hey, I want to do that. And I got a sewing machine and never used it. But the knitting store I used to go to, because I also knit, they sell fabrics. And one day when I was in, they had gnome fabric, and I love gnomes.
She does love gnomes.
Really love gnomes. And I wanted to make something with it. So I asked her the shop owner, to teach me how to use my sewing machine. I brought it in. She showed me what to do. I made a pillowcase, and then I wanted to work on the gnomes. So I was like, give me the gnomes. Let me work on this quilt. So I made my first gnome quilt. And ever since then, I've just been in love with it and making all sorts of different things and just run away with it and collecting and hoarding more fabric, especially gnome fabric. So,
do you still have that gnome quilt?
I do. Do you want to see it?
I would love to see it, and I think everyone else would too.
Okay, I'll show it to you guys. I'll be right back. So here's my first quilt.
Wow.
You want to help me hold it up?
Yeah, I'd be happy to.
And yeah, it's got a couple different techniques in it. This part right here is a panel, and then I did some strip piecing, and here's applique. And we'll take it over.
First quilt, wow.
I did. I was pretty excited about that, but it's really easy once you kind of figure out what to do. Here, we'll show you on the close-up camera so you can see. So like I said, here's the panel, the strip, and then applique is just, cutting out the pieces and putting it on and holding it down in one form or another. And we'll talk about that later on the show. So anyone who wants to learn that can. But I'm pretty proud of it. I loved it. I chose the B for the quilting at the long arm quilter. And then here I had a little hiccup on my machine and I wanted to cover it. So I fussy cut a little bird before I even knew what fussy cutting was. And I put it right here so you couldn't see. And he's coming up now, but
you can always tack it down.
we'll tack him down later.
Yeah, that's great.
Thanks. That's all for this week on Millennials Ruin Quilting. We hope you enjoyed our first ever episode.
Please click the link below to check out our website and share your story of how you got started quilting, and if you have them, pictures of your quilts.
And don't worry, if you haven't started quilting, please join us next week when we show you everything you need to get started. Thanks for watching. Bye.
I think we did it, dude.
We did. It might suck though.
Yeah.
It might. Well,
Is that red light?
it's still recording. Fuck.